My name is Michael Clark. I'm 24 years old, and I took a gap year in Thailand around 2013 into 2014. So I had been just wanting to travel and get away for a while, and I decided Thailand was a good place. One, because it was a very cheap country to travel to. Two, my uncle was living there and working on a documentary film at the time. And then thirdly, I was really interested in Buddhist culture and I wanted to learn a little bit more about that and have a vacation at the same time. I lived mostly in hostels. I stayed in a hotel when I first got there in Bangkok. And when I was with my uncle's girlfriend's family, I stayed with them for a little bit too, maybe like a weekend or so. So the hostels I stayed in, honestly, they ranged from like pretty upscale to a mattress on the floor. Like I stayed at a 3-star hotel in Bangkok, which was like really nice for really cheap. And then I started living in hostels when I went up to Chiang Mai. And like the one hostel I stayed in for a while was probably like somewhere like $12 a night only. So that's like really cheap. But I think the cheapest hostel I stayed in was when I was in Pai. I think it was almost $5 American a night. But that was literally a mattress on the floor in a room with like 30 other people. I met, again, a big variety of people. For the most part, young, either solo or like small group travelers, a lot of, friends taking either a gap year or just a vacation. I never actually worked any official jobs, but I helped out in this one hostel a lot. I ended up being their like front desk person for a week or two in exchange for free food and room. And then I bartended at one of their sister hostels again for like a couple of days just for some free food and stuff. So my uncle Mike, also Michael Clark, he was working on he's a wildlife documentarian, so he was working on a film about elephants, specifically about a man that was trying to re-release elephants into the wild in Thailand, which hasn't been done successfully yet until this guy, because there was a huge logging industry in Thailand in the 80s that they used elephants for. Like the elephants like pulled down the trees and moved all the stuff around until they banned the logging industry, I think in the early 90s. And so they had all these elephants that had been working elephants for years and years and years that didn't know how to live in the wild anymore. So a big tourism industry started keeping all these elephants as tourist attractions instead. My major is television and digital media with a concentration in documentary filmmaking. I helped him. He was like near the end of his production phase, so I helped him a little bit with some just gathering like nat sound and wild track noises and stuff like that. He did let me like mess around with his editing setup a little bit, which was like, I wasn't as good an editor back then, so I had no idea what was going on. He was just showing me stuff. But I went out a couple of like audio shoots with him, just getting like to a local market and just getting the sounds and stuff like that. Honestly, I drank a lot on that holiday. No, but I did a lot of hiking too. I did a bunch of like mountain treks and mountain biking. I worked at I volunteered at an elephant sanctuary, but for the most part, I met new people and learned their stories and hung out. Definitely do it, but be smart about it. When I took my gap year, I sort of just dropped out of school and decided that I was done with society and went to Thailand to try and live a different life. After about 2.5 months, I ran out of all my money and was forced to come home, which was a bit of an eye-opener because I did have a great time. Be safe, be smart, but traveling alone is a different experience. You're not bound to anybody. Nobody's pulling you one way or another. You're not trying to please anybody. It's you're doing things for yourself, and it's a really nice feeling. So going into this trip, I had a basic understanding of Buddhism, the different precepts and all of that, but I never tried to actually be a practicing Buddhist, which I've since realized is a very hard thing to do. It's very simple precepts. It's like, do not lie, be faithful, be spiritual, And there's a couple other ones. You can't drink alcohol, which is a bit of a hard one in my life as a bartender. You can't kill anything, so they don't kill insects. Like a true Buddhist is a vegetarian. There's a lot of varying degrees of Buddhism. Definitely, right before I went to Pai, which is this little mountain village and it's like in a valley, I had paid for Wi-Fi at like a train station or a bus station or something, and my credit card and debit card information got stolen, I guess, from that transaction. So when I got to Pi, none of my credit card wouldn't work. I called my bank for my debit card, and they put a stop on like all my accounts. And I'd already like maxed out my Discover credit card. So basically whatever cash I had on me was what I had to live off of until my bank could send me a new card, which was 7 days. So I didn't have very much money. I had maybe the equivalent of like $200 American on me. It's the conversion is like $1 is about 30 baht. You can get like a bottle of water for like 5 to 10 baht, just to give you an idea of what it is. So yeah, I lived off of peanut butter sandwiches for about a week, and water. That wasn't fun. I didn't do much. I walked around a lot. I wandered around. I probably looked like a homeless person, to be honest. I was wandering around with a bag of bread and a big bottle of water. I got really sick one time. It was either food poisoning or some stomach virus or something, but the people I'd been traveling with had just left the hostel I was staying at, so the people that were in the beds next to me were all new strangers, and I got like really violently sick for about 24 hours, and I didn't know anybody. These two British guys were really nice, and they brought me like water and like chips and stuff, but I literally thought I was gonna die. I think I gained a new perspective on how I looked at things after my trip. I'd never spent that much time by myself, so it kind of really changes the way you look at other things. You're always trying to like be something else for other people, but when there aren't any other people around, it's just you. You kind of learn what you really think and feel and act like and how you want to act. All right, cool. Thanks. Bye.